All right. So for 18, let's take a look at these two guys. These two equations I have to work with. This first one right here, excuse me, has an intercept of 2, and it looks like my slope is down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. So when I figure this out, I can say, well, this equation looks like it's y equals negative x plus 2. This equation looks like it has a slope of positive 2. And an intercept, let's see, looks like the intercept is negative 6. So the trick to the first path of this is trying to figure out what you can do to get those two items, to get the slope and the intercept. If I keep going down with the graph, it looks like it hits down there somewhere. Now the good news is there's a little wiggle room here. If your 4 choices for answers have like 2x plus 6, 2x minus 2, 2x, and 2, you know, well, the one that's the minus 6 is probably most likely the right answer. Because if I continue this line down, that's where I end up. Or minus 7. Well, if it's that hard to tell the difference, that wouldn't be a fair question to ask you guys. Yes, I would. So that's the first of the 2 challenges when you work it backwards. The second challenge is to say, okay, let's figure out where the cutoff point is. Where does this change? What's the point where I go from one line to the other line? It looks like it's right at 2 comma negative 2 or 2 comma 0. So right at x equals 2 is the change. So when I go to write this, I use the first rule as long as x is less than 2. And I use the second rule if it's greater than 2. And where's the equals? The top rule or the bottom rule? Yeah, bottom rule. Because it's got a solid dot on it. Now, the important things you have to have right. You got to get these right. You have to be able to identify the changeover. And you have to pretty much get the basic ideas right. Is it a positive or negative slope? Where's the intercept happening? And then which line am I talking about? As my first line or my second line? I'm still seeing some furrowed brows. What can I say about this? Or is it we're still so is it the split or is it the writing of the equations? Yeah.
I don't even get it.
Well, there's a lot to keep track of. And there's a lot of skills at play here. The first skill is if I give you a line, can you tell me the equation that goes with it? Well, if I give you a line, can you tell me the slope? Can you tell me how far over I'm going versus how far up I'm going?
No.
If I show you the line, can you guesstimate where the intercepts are?
Kind of.
That's all you need to write the equation of a line. You need the slope, and you need the intercept.
But what's the part where it's like I can see if like why do you write that?
Okay, I write that part because you notice how the line continues down this trend until it gets to here, and then it changes?
Yeah.
So as long as the x's I'm putting in are less than 2, all of these numbers, that's the line I follow. At 2, I change and I start following a different line. And so that's what I'm doing there. I'm saying, hey, at 2, this number, there's a change from one rule to the next rule. Think back to the function box. I've got one place to put things in, and then I have a split to determine which sub box it goes into. Does it go into the negative x plus 2 box or the 2x minus 6 box? Well, it depends on what x is. If their x is over here, where it's negative, go in the first box. If they're over here, like number 5, go into the second box. And then it gets processed, and the answer gets kicked out. Wait for it. What else can I say here?
Why is it so two?
This one?
Yeah.
Looks like because I go up to over... Looks like I go up 3 over 1. Nah. It's kind of a tough call. And again, I'm not really all that worried on the specific of the slope as much as you have the right ballpark.